Hey guys, my name's JP. A bit more of a serious topic to cover today. My hometown in Perth is literally up in flames. It's on fire. And to top it off, they're also in the middle of a new COVID-19 outbreak. So can you imagine people isolated in homes, but also not feeling safe in homes because of this massive bushfire that's just burning out of control? And authorities are saying it's really difficult to contain at this point. So it's quite frightening, to be honest. All my family are still in Perth. I grew up there. To see the place where I went to school being totally surrounded and cordoned off as a danger zone, areas of a childhood home, friends that I've known from my childhood, all of these people are being massively impacted right now, and it's just awful. And I think this image kind of sums it up in a lot of ways. It's, the mask is something you need to wear anyway because of COVID, but people are wearing it because of this awful kind of bushfire smoke that's enveloping the city. So it's just awful. And I think 71 homes at this point have been destroyed, and it's, WA is Western Australia, and Perth in Western Australia. It's one of the most isolated cities in the world, if not the most isolated. It's just surrounded by a huge landmass, and it's actually quicker to fly to an international destination, to fly to Bali or to fly overseas, than it is to travel to Sydney on the other side of Australia. So it's really isolated, and it's known for its kind of really hot, dry climate. So you put that together with like a really kind of thick bush coverage, and bushfires are just a real threat. And I remember as kids having, kind of being really careful around the fire breaks we had around the property. We did lose a home once to a fire, and known plenty of friends that have actually just had, lost loved ones or pets or those sorts of things. So it's really destructive, and there's not much they can do to contain it once it kind of really gets going. So it's absolutely shocking. And I thought what we would do is just kind of share this video, which I think is the best one I've been able to find, that just shows, I guess, the destruction that's kind of happening and what the firefighters are having to deal with over in WA. And this is footage kind of officially released from the government of Western Australia and the Department of Fire and Emergency Services. And it just looks apocalyptic. And these are places I know, like when I go back to visit my family, these are the places I travel to. These are the streets I drive down. And a lot of these firemen are actually volunteer firemen, which a lot of people don't realise. So these are people with families and other day jobs, and they just, they care a lot about the state, and they put in everything they can when these fires flare up. And this footage here is actually, I believe it's from Noble Falls Tavern, and it's an awesome kind of pub in the middle of the bush, and real kind of secluded, peaceful place. You can get away and have a few drinks and just kind of be in nature. Really popular spot with the locals, and that's just been burning on all sides. I don't know if they've saved it. I haven't heard anything yet. Here comes the water bombers. So what they drop here, it's actually like a chemical, which is more effective than water at actually diffusing the fire. Yeah, so quite shocking stuff. So look, we'll see how this pans out, but I'm worried about my mum, who lives up right and kind of like quite isolated, and I think she's gotten out. My father lives right on the edge of Swan View, where it's a massive kind of national bush reserve and park. So if that comes through, that is likely he'll need to evacuate. And yeah, just a lot of people I kind of went to school with and grew up with all still live in that area, the Perth Hills, and they love it. So these things are really destructive, and they have massive impacts on people's lives. And to get all this in 2021, like it feels like the two worst things Australia went through in 2020, coronavirus and COVID, coming back on force at the same time is really quite full on. So peace and love and prayers going out to people in WA. If you know anyone, make sure you check that they're okay. And yeah, let's just keep an eye on this, and hopefully, yeah, it's been frustrating. So I actually haven't been able to go to Perth at all since COVID. The borders have been closed, and to know that this is happening and I can't be there is another thing as well. But we'll keep monitoring. We'll see what happens.